everybody. Welcome to this Aspire update. I'm going to talk to you I promise I'll keep it to less than 10 minutes, about the Aspire framework and how version 1 have been creating the framework and expanding the capability within that framework over the last sort of 12 months. And I'll also talk as well about where we're going in the coming 6 to 12 months as well. So I'll talk a little bit around the roadmap and give you a flavour of what to expect as we go forward. Before I do that, let me first of all introduce myself. Obviously, I won't have met everybody that will be listening to this video. So my name's Marcus Cox. I'm responsible for the Aspire managed service offerings here at version 1. It's my job to make sure that everything we do meets and exceeds your expectations, and everything that we do within the Aspire framework is actually market leading. It's making sure that we are introducing the things that we're seeing in the market, but most importantly, listening to you, our customers, and taking on that feedback and then feeding that into our Aspire framework. So first of all, let me share a couple of slides, and I promise it is only just a couple of slides. What I'm going to do is I'm going to first of all talk a little bit around the framework. So what is the Aspire framework? Why is it there? Why is it important? And why do we focus down on that when we're talking to you, our customers? So one of the things I want to say first of all is you may not have seen this logo before. So if you haven't been keeping up to date, then you'll actually won't know that version 1 have gone through a complete new rebranding. So if you want to go and visit our website, you'll see that the rebranding has taken effect, which also means we've got a new Aspire brand as well and logo. So this is probably the first time you've seen that Aspire logo. So do check out the website. It is really good in terms of the way that the rebranding has taken shape. So first of all, let me talk around why we have the Aspire framework. So some of you, or most of you listening to this, will be an Aspire customer today. So you probably have a good idea in terms of why we have the framework, but let me just recap. So managed services it's a complex area. Whilst there's a lot of commoditized services in there are a lot of different services that sit within a managed services provider's remit. And there's also a plethora of technologies as well. And because of all those technologies and all the different services that can be consumed, it's very, very easy to get lost in terms of delivering the value, the real value that your business wants and needs and craves. Yes, we can keep the lights on, but how do we make sure we also concentrate the value to your business? And that really is why we introduced the Aspire framework. It's all about making sure that we concentrate down on the value areas and don't lose sight of those. Whilst it's very important that we do keep the lights on, it's important that you, our customers, aspire to more than that from your managed service provider. So let me talk a little bit around the different components. So the framework, whilst obviously Aspire is a word, each of the letters within this framework enable us to compartmentalize the areas we want to focus in on, and allows us to make sure that we deliver value in each of these areas. So let me touch on some of the key points, and then we'll talk a little bit around the roadmap. So first of all, the A in Aspire, it's all about automate. Now, I don't know how many minutes we are in. I've got a couple of minutes in and haven't mentioned AI, but AI is absolutely critical. It's changing the way that we deliver managed services. It's changing the way we live our lives as well. But from a managed services point of view, we're now using AI to redefine the way that we deliver managed services. And we're doing that through something called our Aspire bot. So we've been developing our Aspire bot that enables us to resolve issues quickly. And that means that we can reduce the mean time to resolve, but also improve user experiences as well. So we're driving down efficiency, we're improving efficiencies and driving down the cost to deliver, but also improving user experiences. And you'll see more of that in the coming months as we introduce it, first of all, internally, but then we're going to expose that then to you, our customers, so you can start to use generative AI coming into our service to get the answers that you need to resolve the issues that you have in a self-service manner. Other things that you'll see as well, you'll also see that we're automating the way that we carry out reporting. So if you haven't seen it already, you will see it in the coming months. We've now introduced a new capability that allows us to automate the way that we expose the data and give you the transparency into the services that we provide. So we're doing a little bit around the automate and obviously driving AI into that as well to drive the efficiencies and drive the improvements as well into your business. If we then move on to the S and think about simplify, so the simplify is about how do we make the services that you consume easy to consume? How do we make sure that we improve the user experiences that you're having with the touch points? And also, how do we simplify your estate as a whole? So how do we look at the architectures and how do we look at the licensing across your estate? So in essence, what we've done here is we've brought in a user forum that we're going to start to run with our customers. Now, it's important to say that not all contracts and all services warrant everything that we talk about in the framework. But where it's meaningful, we'll make sure that we apply these things. So we'll apply user forums to the right contracts, and in those user forums, what we'll do is we'll carry out user journey mappings. What that means is we will look at the journey that our customers, are on with the touch points of our services, and then use sentiment analysis to look at how happy you are with those touch points and where we might be able to make improvements to those touch points. We're also going to be introducing predictive intelligence. Now, predictive intelligence, it does a lot in terms of similarity frameworks, but it looks at some of the service requests and incidents that are coming through and allows us to think about how do we look at new catalogue items that we can expose to you and use automation to fulfill them as well. I also talked about licensing as well. So we've introduced FinOps recently. So we're looking at the whole operations around cloud and how do we actually make sure that we're optimizing your cloud environment. But we're also doing that from a managed services point of view with our SAM practice. So looking at customers' environments and looking at how do we optimize those licenses and maybe changing the architectures to help optimize. If you want to talk more about the SAM capabilities, then please do ask your SDM. So then I'm going to move on to protect. So, excuse me, everything we do within version 1 is all about making sure we protect relentlessly. And it's also making sure that what we do is secure by design. So we make sure that we have the right people with the right skill sets and the right accreditations. We also make sure that as a company that we also have the right accreditations in place. So we have the Cyber Essential Pluses, we're ISO accredited, ISO 27001, ISO 20000. So we have the right people and we have the right processes. Now what we've also got is, and we've also been introducing, is a partner ecosystem. So we want you as our customers to get the very best service. So we realize that actually the very best services when it comes to SOC capabilities is to have specialists in that area. So we've built out a partner ecosystem to allow us to provide SOC capabilities to you through that partner ecosystem. Again, if you want to talk more about SOC capabilities, SOC services and our partners, then again, speak to your SDM or speak to me and reach out to me through LinkedIn. So let's move on to the I. So the I is all around how do we innovate. So obviously innovation is crucial in a managed service environment. We make sure that we innovate. We make sure that we have the right processes in place. We have an AI lab. We have a cloud innovation center. If you would like to get more involved in that, if you would like to have some design thinking workshops to look at how we can innovate and help you and help your business, then again, reach out to your SDM and ask for this to happen, because we're absolutely certain we can bring innovation to your environment, but make sure it's business focused and make sure it's value driven, not technology driven. Then we'll move on to the R, so meaningful performance indicators. If you're an Aspire customer, you will have heard us talk about VLA, so value level agreement. So there's a few things that we've introduced here. So SLAs still absolutely valid, absolutely important, and we will always work to SLAs to make sure we keep the lights on. But we go over and above that using VLA, so value level agreements. Now, we've recently introduced a VLA and a day process that we want to bring to you, our customers, to look at, again, how do we add value into your environments going over and above just the managed service. Ask your SDM. They will be coming to you and talking to you about VLAs. They will be talking to you about the process and talking about how we can run that process to help identify those value areas. Other things that we've been introducing. So we've just introduced a CLA, so a carbon level agreement. Now that's very specific in terms of the cloud environments that our customers are in, and we have a really good case study now with one of our customers where we've delivered a carbon level agreement. And what that actually means is it's baselining the services that you consume within the Azure cloud environment, and then looking for cases how we can optimize that and drive down the emissions that are being put out from the services that you consume. So we've introduced CLAs. We're also introducing XLAs as well. Now, whilst XLAs aren't new to the market, they are very, very important. If you think about what I talked about earlier with user forums and user journey mappings, it's using that to then think about how do we put a wrapper around it to come to what is called an XLA, so an experience level agreement, and making sure that we improve the experiences that you have with our service. And then lastly, the E, which is all about evolving. Yeah, you have to keep evolving. You have to keep evolving and adapting to a shifting landscape. If you don't evolve, your services will become less and less valuable to you. So, of course, we do continual service improvement, but we also evolve what we're doing with our strategic customers from a partnership perspective. So we like to work with our strategic customers and our key suppliers in a collaborative way and make sure we drive a high performing partnership together. So it's not just a supplier relationship, and we actually have a team within version 1 that can work with you and your key suppliers and version 1 to build that high performing environment. Again, if that's something you're interested in, please do reach out. We also obviously evolve what we do from a framework point of view. Yeah, so we're evolving this framework. We're spending over $500,000 a year making sure that we do evolve this framework. And again, like I said earlier, bringing the best of the market, listening to our customers, and then advancing the Aspire framework as we go forward. So conscious of time, I said 10 minutes, I am a little bit over, so I'll touch on this very, very quickly. Some of the things I've already talked about. So if you look at this slide and want to digest it a little bit slower, and come back and ask any questions, again, please do. Please channel that through your SDM or reach out to me on LinkedIn. So this is basically broke out into the different horizons that look at the things that we've implemented, the things that we are implementing, so starting to see benefits and driving benefits from, and then the things that are a little bit further afield that we're now evaluating to look at when we might release them, or things that we're exploring to say, you know, are there any benefits in doing so? So I've talked about some of these, you know, VLA in a day, FinOps managed services. We also talked about the automated reporting that we're bringing into the environment. The Aspire AI bot you can see on here. The CLAs I've just mentioned, you can also see on here. Looking further afield, you know, if you look at some of the things that we are now considering, there are model ops. So we're actually going through a process at the moment where we're looking at how do we create a managed service around our AI capability. So we're delivering a lot of value into many of our different customers through our AI labs. And as we shift those things into production, we're now looking at how do we create the operation environment around that so you can get the true benefits, not just from a project, but also having the company with the right skills to be able to control that environment and operate in it in the right way and the right manner and an efficient way. So I said 10 minutes, I'm now on 12. I told a little fib at the start, I'm 2 minutes over, so apologies for that. But I hope that's given you a little bit of an insight in terms of where we are with Aspire, what it is, what it means, the things that we're bringing to you and the things that we're concentrating on in the future. Now, I would love to get your feedback on this in terms of the areas that you would like us to concentrate on or areas that you think we should be concentrating more on. And we can put that into this roadmap. Whilst it's version 1's roadmap, it's also your roadmap as well, because we need to make sure that we're delivering to our customers' expectations and again, going past those and exceeding. So thank you very much for your time. Again, any questions, ask your SDM. Please do reach out to me on LinkedIn as well and connect with me. I'd be keen to connect. We're also putting blogs out as well. So if you connect, you'll also see those blogs as they come out through version 1 as well. So thank you very much for your time. Again, 13 minutes, not 10, told the fib. Have a great day and I hope to speak to you soon. Thank you.